Good afternoon, brothers. My name is Matt Haight, and I'm National Director of Academic Affairs for Delta Tau Delta. The purpose of this webinar is to take a broad view of the academic components of the New Member Education Pilot Program. It's not meant to be comprehensive in here, and as you'll notice that I am providing you with my contact information should you have any more specific follow-up questions, concerns, or pieces of feedback. Throughout this, what we're going to look to cover is the idea of an academic contract, what the Cases tour will look like, and also a reminder of the Kirshner Scholar program. So let's it's just a component from Delta Tau educational philosophy. A few years ago, a group of educators came together, as well as central office staff and volunteers, and created an educational philosophy. The component in front of you really emphasizes the idea of lifelong learning, how vital it is, and also that it comes through the involvement in activities and programs not only in Delta Tau Delta, but also activities and programs through our university and college environments. And that's really going to be the emphasis in the many things that we do with the academic components of the New Member Ed program, is to make sure that our young men who are entering the fraternity are familiar with and are acting within the programs and activities that they provided on their campus in order to become lifelong learners. What you first is a portion of our academic contract. Yours may look a little different in the final version of the facilitator and the participant manual, but the purpose is still the same. The first is to have each new member be able to sit down and reflect upon what their goal is going to be for a cumulative or a term GPA. You'll also notice, though, that we ask each member to break down the goal by course so that they're better understanding how they can reach that goal, and they can assess their strengths and weaknesses based on the courses that are being provided for that particular semester. So that we ask not the chapter, but the new member class to create a group goal. This may be in practice for your chapter, but it emphasizes the importance to the members that academic is important and that we're in this collectively. And then have a member ed class also create their goal, which plays into the chapter GPA's goal, so that they are going to be playing a vital role in the chapter's success in the future. Notice on this portion of the academic contract is asking each new member to list out his course as well as from the syllabi, the professor name and office hours. There, we are asking each individual to actually go and visit that person during their office hours and gain a signature from that person. The intent is to make a relationship right back of to go if they have questions and concerns about their particular course. We want these professors to be able to be accessible, and we want them to understand that Delts are committed to reaching out for assistance when need be. In front of you about the academic contract is the accountability component. First of all, we're asking each contract to be provided with a contract referee. If you're planning to integrate the Big Brother program into the pilot program, your good addition might be to have the Big Brothers be each of the referees for each of the new members that are creating these goals. It does not have to be a Big Brother, though, from the Big Brother program. This could be anyone within the chapter or someone who's maybe in an advisory position with your chapter that is willing to focus and ensure that the different components of the academic contract are being through. So that there's components for a support team. It could be just an individual person, or it could be multiple people, and you see that there are options provided there for that. The idea of the team is, again, have individual and that when you're not part of a fraternal organization, you may not have that collective support to help you academically. But the idea of a fraternity is that we have a community of learners that are there to support one another. So these support teammates can certainly be older individuals in the chapter. They could be someone else from their new member ed class, and it even could be someone from outside of the DELT community, as long as they have a strong relationship with that person and they're willing to hold them accountable to the goals that they've set. The third component that we wanted to discuss with you was what we feel is going to be a really vital part of the new member ed program for the pilot program. And it's what we call the campus resource tour. you'll see in your facilitator or your participant manual that we're asking the educator per time when new members can visit certain resources on campus and actually put a face with a name and find out what's available at that particular place. I'm going to cover everything on this list, but I did want to highlight just a few components. This one is the academic advisor. We know that each is assigned with our professor, but each university, as we know, also assigns an academic advisor to each student. These are often underutilized, and we want that relationship to be started very early. This is going to help them not only in the immediate future as they are working through some of their core curriculum classes, but also as they're searching through what their career path is going to be, having that long-lasting relationship with that person. The source that we want them to explore is the academic advisor. Some of you may already have a faculty academic advisor in place. If so, we're asking you to make sure that the new members are familiar with this man or woman so that they can be able to communicate with them when the time comes. If you currently do not have a faculty academic advisor, I'm going to call your attention to my contact information at the end of this webinar. Feel free to reach out to me. One of my goals as Director of Academic Affairs is to recruit, educate, and also retain faculty advisors for all of our chapters. So I'm more than happy to help you locate someone who can serve in this capacity. This is a resources list that's extremely vital. We know that academic success is going to be important, and that's what we're doing with some of this programming, is to support our new members' academic success. But also, we know academic success is linked to social, emotional, and mental health as well. We want our young men to understand where they need to go and where they can go if experiencing depression, if they're just having a tough time within their life, if they're struggling with some loss of a loved one maybe, if they're experiencing maybe even some homesickness initially coming to campus. A courageous man, and we talk about courage as one of our core values, it takes a courageous man to be able to say, I need help from someone else, and here are the resources where we can provide that help for these individuals. So making a relationship at that counseling center. Disabilities office, which some people may be unfamiliar with. If coming in from a high school environment and they had a diagnosed learning disability, they may have had accommodations that were already made for them automatically. When you environment, even if you have a diagnosed learning disability, you don't automatically get those accommodations made for you. In order to do that, you must visit the disabilities office before those accommodations get enacted. So making that all of our are familiar with this disabilities office, and there may even be some accommodations and some assistance that can be provided should this person have difficulty, but they might not have a diagnosed learning disability at this point. So again, that's what the disabilities office is there for, is to be able to get guidance and those resources that are necessary. And then finally, just calling your attention to the Center for Diversity and Multicultural Affairs. It might be called something different on your particular campus, but the concept should be the same. It's to be a resource center for our youth to understand that diversity is more than just race and diversity is more than just gender. That about understanding, appreciating, and celebrating the differences in each person and show how that can create not a stronger chapter, but a stronger campus community and a stronger world. So I think you'll find that not only will our new members find some great personal resources there, but you'll also find some resources that you can tap into the chapter later on. The third I wanted to discuss with you is about the Kirshner Scholar program. This is familiar to active members, but for new members, we want to make sure we introduce the Kirshner Scholar program within the new member education program. So Kirshner is a way for us to recognize those men who are contributing beyond academic excellence within the fraternity. It's awarded on a semesterly or quarterly basis, depending on what this is for your university, and can now be found, the form in order to report the Kirshner Scholar Award winner can be found on DELTS Connect. Remember, criteria for the Kirshner Scholar program is either a 3.5 GPA or above on a 4.0 scale, or a list or a campus equivalent of that. You can win Kirshner Scholar awards every single semester should you meet the criteria. As your number of awards increases, there are some really neat DELT incentives that come along with that. These can be eligible during their new member program. That GPA earned can be eligible to earn them that first Kirshner Scholar Award. So we want to make sure that they're communicating that right off the bat so that they understand what DELT still adds as a little bit of extra support and incentive when it comes to recognition. Conclude on calling your name to the first stanza of our adult creed. I believe in Delta for the education of youth, inspiration, and maturity, so they better learn and live the truth. You're certainly, through this new member education process, educating youth. But what we're also doing by showing them the resources on campus, by having them create strong relationships on that campus, and also by having each new member take responsibility for their own academic performance, while understanding that they have a community of individuals behind them. We are inspiring that maturity, that strong relationships for oneself, and respecting the idea that academics comes first really is what we're looking for as a mature young man and a mature young adult. And as I mentioned previously, my contact information is provided. I'm very responsive via email, but you may certainly feel free to give me a call, and we can work out a time to sit down and talk more exclusively about some questions, concerns, or feedback that you may have. Thank you for offering to and to pilot this with your chapter. If you have any other questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. I will be visiting certain chapters throughout the semester, and Ellen will be providing who the chapters will be. But even if I'm not one of the chapters that I'll be working with, please continue to feel free to reach out to me with anything that you might need. Again, good luck and enjoy the rest.